So moving on, we'll go on to the biggest bit of this is E3, which is about 3 weeks away. Starts on the 10th of June. Before we do go on to that though, obviously Xbox have announced that I think did they say something along the lines of their announcement is going to be something never seen before at E3, and they've got lots of things coming in, and I can't remember the name of the guy that's now head of Xbox that took over from someone. And since they announced that, they've in the last week or so they've announced the connectless Xbox, Xbox Live Gold changes, and was there something else they announced as well? I can't remember. My mind fails me. But what's your thoughts on the fact that you can buy an Xbox without the Kinect now, or as of next month?
I'm not entirely surprised they've done it, to be honest. I know the PlayStation have been selling a lot more PS4s compared to Xbox from different things that I've read. So I'm not surprised that they're selling one without a Kinect. I know when the Xbox One was originally announced, they said you've got to have a Kinect and it's got to be attached all times. So the fact that they've actually gone away from that and you don't need a Kinect. To be honest, I only ever use mine for chat. I don't play any games in it whatsoever with the Kinect. So it's just a big lump of microphone. That's all it is. It's just sitting on my desk at the moment. So I'm not surprised I've done it to try and open up the market a little bit more for the Xbox One.
Yeah, like you say though, it's annoying that it was pushed with the Xbox, and a lot of people have said, well, are we getting a refund then or something? And they've outright said no, which you can understand. Bit of a ridiculous question to ask, but I don't play any games with mine, but I do use it a lot to navigate the menus, and it's quite handy when you need to pause something, and rather than fiddling through menus, you can, because as we know, when the Xbox first came out, the menus were a bit of a ball ache, and it was easier just to say it. But then again, it has been the biggest pain in the arse of my life trying to get it to work. As we both know, Rock King has had so many issues with voice
Oh dear.
chatting, which I think is due to the Kinect. So it'll be interesting to see how that is received and if it does boost sales. But also going forward, what happens with our Kinects is what I'm interested to see. Whether they'll just, because apparently is it 10% extra CPU power you get from not having the Kinect there?
Yeah, well, I heard something along those lines as well. So yeah, it's how many games in the future will they say, right, don't plug your Kinect in because you need all the processing power. Which, to be honest, I'd rather see. I'd rather them say, right, just disconnect it and then you have a better gaming experience because, like I say, I don't use mine that often. Um,
Yeah. The only thing that is annoying, and that's when I probably would jump on the bandwagon to say I need a refund, is if certain games come out, and rightly so, say, well, if we've got this extra 10%, we'll use it. And then if I have got this lump of shit sat on top of my TV that I can't even have turned on while I'm playing a game, it's going to be interesting to see what happens and what they do to combat that.
yeah, I know. It's this thing with the Kinect as well with the games for it. I haven't really seen apart from like Kinect Sports when that first come out. But that was fun, but it's fun once you've got all the family together or something, and it's not something I'd use on my own.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just incorporating the Kinect into games, maybe like Call of Duty and and little bits like that. I just think they need to make it more. I mean, I remember on Forza 4, I used the Kinect for steering once on Forza, and oh my god, it was absolutely terrible, and it hurt my arms at the end of it doing like a 5 lap race with your arms held out in front of you. Yeah, it's just some things I think it's really really good. Other things it's a gimmick more than anything.
didn't you have massive issues with was it Need for Speed when it kept looking back on itself and that was something to do with the head
Oh,
tracking or
yeah, I still to this day haven't worked that out. I have no idea why it just makes me look backwards now and again, but it's so frustrating.
but yeah, so we'll see what happens. It is a little bit annoying that they've obviously gone through all that effort to push the Connect and then it looks like it's probably going to be dead, but we shall see. The Xbox Live Gold changes, which where basically now it's basically turning into PlayStation Plus. I think we're getting some new free games next month, which is Halo, Spartan Assault, and Max: The Curse of Brotherhood, which you're going to get for free if you have got Xbox Live Gold. But if you haven't got Gold, you can now use all the apps like Netflix and that, which is pretty decent. If you don't want to play games online, you can still use all the apps, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a definite plus. Is being able to use stuff like that if you haven't got it live. I think that's definitely a step forward to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing, which I've just remembered what they have announced before E3, is Halo 5. They've not released a lot of details, and I think more details are coming out. But I think is it released this year or next year? I can't remember now, off the
I'm
top of
not
my
too
head.
sure. Yeah, I can't remember off the top
I
of
know it
my
was
head now.
announced last week, but it does make me wonder what they've got up their sleeve for E3, because these three are some pretty big announcements, which would have given them a lot of fall 2015. It'll be for Halo 5.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it had given them a lot of credibility at E3 after last year's E3, when a lot of people were going a bit crazy about it. And I think this would have boosted them. So what they have got in store, who knows? But we'll just go through the list in just a second of all the little rumours. But um, what do you think? Do you think they've already spoiled it, or do you think they've got something massive due to come out?
Um, I'm not. I'd hope they're going to have something that is actually going to be absolutely amazing and just blow everybody away and go, wow, we really can't wait for that. But I guess their idea of amazing might not be the same as my idea of amazing.
Yeah,
So maybe if they come out and say, yeah, we've got Halo 5 in 2015, it runs at 60 frames per second, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's not really. That's not the amazing that I want. I want something that's going to actually blow me away and make me excited and look forward to it.
Yeah, whether it's another game coming out, I presume at some point there might be another Gears of War or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I would have thought that'd come out.
Because what was that other game that was it Quantum Break, which I don't know a lot about, but that was announced E3 last year, which
I
looked
haven't
really
heard
good.
it.
About I think it was about is it a child that's got some bizarre abilities and everything goes a bit crazy. Um, I can't remember now. But
Uh, I,
it looked really good.
no, so I haven't heard a lot about that game, to be honest.
Just doing a very quick Google while we're chatting. It's based on a third-person shooter um, with time manipulation powers, which was announced at E3 and it's supposed to be coming out this year. But the graphics on it for the trailer looked ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of things that was announced last year that nothing's really happened with them this year, which would be
oh,
interesting.
yeah, I don't mind that. I'd rather them keep a game back for 6 months or a year and get
Oh
it
yeah,
done. Because
yeah,
the habit of nowadays is releasing games and having them 50% completed. I mean, Kickstarter and stuff like that, I think it's wonderful that people can actually contribute to games and get them early and play them. And yes, that does help with the release versions because they've got ironed all the glitches out. But there are a lot of people like Daisy, was for instance, the amount of people that I read bought that, and
yeah,
it clearly states on it that it's in alpha and it'll change, and there's a lot not right with it at the moment. And the amount of people that bought it and then moaned about it straight away, and it's like just read the small print. Just read, well, it's not even the small print. It's just read the print that's on the screen when you buy it. Don't expect a fully released game. But like getting onto like Battlefield and stuff like that, the games that they kind of rush out and then
yeah,
people pay for, and then the set take 2 or 4 months to fix, get into a state that they should have been at release. That's where I've got my issue with. Is just don't release a half-assed game because it's
yeah,
only going to hurt you in the long run.
definitely. I know Watch Dogs was um, had a lot of hate when they delayed it because it was supposed to be a release day title for the next gen consoles, and then they delayed it 6 months. But at the end of the day, I like you, I'd prefer a finished game, or at least near as damn it. Obviously, we all know that until you put something live and out to the public and different things, who knows what can happen. But at least if they're happy with it when they release it, at least they can then fix those bugs that come in. Excuse me, rather than trying to continue to finish the game while it's out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So let's move on to the E3 rumours that we've got. There's an extensive list. We're not going to go through all of them because it would take us all day. But first up, we've got is Rise 2, which apparently is in development, and they're potentially going to announce and show some in-game footage. Did you play the original Rise?
I was very close to purchasing it, and I read a lot. It looked really, really awesome. but I read reviews that said the gameplay was very repetitive, and I know it takes the fighting system from like Batman as well, doesn't it? It's
Yeah,
that kind of approach. And in the end, I decided not to. But from game, it looked absolutely brilliant. But then I got told, or I read that the gameplay probably wasn't the best.
yeah,
Um, and for me, I'd much rather have a game that plays absolutely awesomely and looks a bit sketchy, as opposed to the other way around.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I got the got Rise, and it was actually really good. I was surprised. It wasn't the longest game I've ever played, or the hardest. There was a few bits in it that were pretty hard, but it was fairly repetitive, but it was enjoyable. The storyline was pretty good, um, and some of the kills that you do where you're slicing people's throats and different things is a little bit mental to say the least. But I believe I've heard that this one is moving away from the Roman times, and I think going towards Viking times. I think. I think I read that somewhere, so we'll have to see if that is true and what happens there.
Everybody loves a bit of raping and pillaging.
Well, yeah, why not? Yeah, if it's something like Game of Thrones, everyone will love it. I'll let you do the next point. We'll do them alternatively, so I know everyone's hearing my voice all the time.
Yeah, so the next one we've got is Forza Horizon 2, which will be announced for release in October 2014 via Playground Games, which I think work in conjunction with Turn 10,
Yeah,
or connected to them. It will once again be open world and set in Louisiana. Um, few areas: Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, Texas, and Arkansas. Again, it's going to have its full day-night cycle with real-time weather, which I think will be a new addition. I don't think they had real-time weather in the original one.
no, I don't think they did.
Um,
No.
and they've estimated that it's going to be around single player 80 hours to complete it, which is it's quite a significant amount of hours to put into it. But it shows you that
Yeah,
content hopefully will be there.
yeah. Obviously, the real weather is interesting, and I wonder if that could be something we could see in the next Forza as well. It is something that would be good to have in Forza, and I wonder if they use Horizon as maybe a slight testing platform.
Yeah, a little stepping stone.
Yeah. So that'd be very interesting. Is there anything you'd like to see in Horizon 2 that wasn't in the previous one?
Um, I can't remember. It's been that long since I played Horizon, but I can't remember being able to create your own circuits. Because obviously when
Yeah,
we do like gumball stuff as well, Horizon would be perfect for that. If you could set a route and everybody had to follow that route, it would be awesome.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't think you could do that in Horizon Divisional One. I know the multiplayer racing was sketchy at best.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, something like that would be kind of cool. Just something that the community as a whole can get a bit creative and bring some new things there. But don't necessarily tell them this is what you can do and give them boundaries to say, what these are the options you've got to play with, and you can create 60, 70 different game modes from this. Just go ahead and have fun.
yeah. It's just remind me. I'm just going to go slightly off subject. For something else that's in Watch Dogs is the mobile app version, which I think is only on tablets, and you can actually you play the police on your iPad, or your other tablet devices are available, and you actually lay out a track for someone, and you're the police, and you kind of in the helicopter, and you're trying to stop the person from getting around the track you've laid out, and you can deploy police and pop up various roadblocks and things, which is wicked. So
That's the
yeah,
kind of thing I like, something new and something different, something that no game has done before, just little bits like that.
yeah,
It just makes it a lot more interesting.
yeah, definitely. Which is something we perhaps have to test out if we both get it, because you can actually do that to my game, and I can follow it, and you can. I think you can even troll someone, and on the big screens, and it'll come up saying, you know, put your foot down or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, Forza Horizon 2. I'm going slightly off subject. Could be interesting, but obviously it's not a massive shock that that'd be coming out, and probably nor Rise 2. But the next one is 343 Industries unveiling Halo 2 Anniversary. And apparently with this you're going to get a full map pack, full multiplayer included, a massive visual makeover. It's also going to include options as a Halo Anniversary, including both visual modes and schools, and it will include the E3 2013 mission as a bonus unlockable, and the PC maps from the PC version. So obviously when the PC version came out of Halo 2 or Halo 1, they did have it was slightly different from the console version. So basically, we're getting Halo 2 HD, I guess.
Yeah,
Which
and getting everything that is included in Halo 2, regardless of platform. So
yeah,
it could be kind of interesting.
yeah. Halo 2 was good. I personally kind of lost touch with it from Halo 3 onwards. Um, but Halo 1 and 2 was really good, so it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. And I've heard that potentially that's going to be this year. Um, there's rumours around about that, but we'll have to see what happens with that one. Moving on, perhaps can skip those two next points. Apparently, there's nothing from Turn 10 this year other than supporting Forza Horizon 2. And on this rumour, it was the Halo 5, but presumably we'll just get some information about that. So I'll let you do the next point, Stella.
Yeah, apparently Rare is prepping a reboot of Battletoads and Perfect Dark. Battletoads will initially be a download-only title, and is set apparently to run at 60 frames per second, which will be interesting to see if it actually gets that high.
Yeah.
And Perfect Dark is looking to be rebooted into a third-person adventure game as well, similar to Uncharted, which I think was probably one of the better-selling games on the PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed the Uncharted series on the PlayStation. Battletoads, I can't say I've ever played that. There's going to be some fanboy out there that's probably going to go crazy. I can't ever remember playing that. Can you?
No, I can't even remember hearing about it before. So if anybody's got any info on it, just put it in the
Yeah,
comments below, and we'll go and check it out.
yeah, definitely. Perfect Dark, I enjoyed that. That was originally a N64 title, which was done after GoldenEye, I think.
Yeah,
If my memory serves me correctly. Going into third person, it's interesting. Presumably, it'll be a cross between um, like Lara Croft in like a futuristic world. I would have thought, 'cause the lead character is a female. I think I
yeah,
can't remember her name.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's been that long. I can't remember much about Perfect Dark. To be honest, I've had many sleeps since then. But yeah, I'd
Yeah.
imagine it would be very similar to Tomb Raider in a futuristic setting.
The only thing I can remember from Perfect Dark from playing it on the N64 was when you got the minigun that came out of the laptop that you could put down like the little turret.
Yeah,
That was wicked, but
little bits
yeah,
that stick with you.
yeah. And the next one is Epic will unveil their new game based on Samaritan. Is that right? A demo from 2012. I
Uh,
can
I can't
have
comment
no
on that.
idea.
I
No.
have no idea what that is.
Um, Again, if anybody knows any more about this, drop us a comment. It's an Xbox One exclusive in partnership with Microsoft, because Epic have now dropped Gears of War, and Gears of War has gone over to Black Tusk. Is that correct?
I
I
think it
think.
is. Yes, I think you're correct.
So obviously Epic, I think Microsoft took them off the Gears of War to do this exclusive game, which apparently here it says the best looking game of this generation, which
That's
will.
it. That's a
Uh,
very bold statement.
oh yes, yeah, we're
If
not
you're going
running
to
down
say that,
bold
you better pull
statements.
something out the bag impressive.
Yeah, and not just a fancy trailer. We want the best looking game visually, play wise.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, like you say, bold statement. They could fall flat on the face with that one, but we shall see.
So the next one we got is Good Science Studios will unveil their Connect only game, which is going to be quite interesting. Going back onto the Connect we had earlier, it's going
Yeah,
to be called Echo Black apparently, and this game is controlled by the use of the Connect, and the player plots through an adventure game drawn, which could be kind of interesting. And the vibrancy of the world depicted alters depending on the pitch, loudness, and location of the player's voice. So again, whatever you do or say is going to affect it in game. That could be interesting. It could be like the start of the future for gaming if it's done really, really well. But if it's done
yeah,
really well, really poorly, it could kind of see it nosedive quickly.
yeah. I wonder if this is even going to be announced with the latest um, Connect developments that we've had before. Obviously, these rumours were out and about. This list is a couple of weeks old, um, but it'd be interesting to see how that is received, or if they might just kind of brush that to the side because obviously everyone will be like, "Yay, it's a Kinect game," which I like the Kinect games, mainly the sports games, like say
Yeah,
if you've got the family around or whatever. Um, and with the Kinect, with Microsoft not really pushing the Kinect, although they say you can buy it separately, yeah, we'll have to see.
yeah. I think it's going to have a limited, definitely limited audience that are going to buy it.
Definitely, yeah. The next one is Twisted Pixel will reveal their next digital game, which is set in a sci-fi planet of Dexilus and possibly a 2.5D platformer, which presumably is going to be a little bit like, I can't remember the name of the arcade game where it was 2D and then you could spin it, which made the almost 3D aspect of it. I can't remember which one that was. Twisted Pixel normally do some decent games, so it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, I wish somebody, but I know they did a few on the Xbox 360 and made their 3D versions or 3D options in the game where you could turn the game into 3D. Because I've just recently bought a 3D TV, and I would love to actually try a game out in 3D and see how it differed from the standard one.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I think Batman Arkham Asylum was in 3D, or at least had a 3D option mode.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's nothing. It seems to have been fallen at the wayside because I know both the PlayStation and the Xbox don't support 3D Blu-rays at the minute.
No, I know the Xbox One doesn't have to buy a separate 3D Blu-ray player, which is a bit of a pain in the arse.
Yeah, you
Um,
would have thought it'd just happen naturally.
yeah.
Had a
Well,
massive push, but
I kind of thought it did, and then I did some research, and I was like, no, it doesn't. Okay, you're going to have to buy another purchase.
yeah, lovely, more money. So moving on, we've got Black Tusk, which we talked about earlier. We'll have a CGI trailer for the next Gear of Wars, which will be Gear of Wars Lazarus, which will be shown the direction the series is heading. Now, I played Gears of War 1 and a little bit of Gears of War 2. Quite like them, but I'm not massively into it, although I know it's got a massive following. It's kind of turned into a bit of a cult with the bags that people wear and that. Have you played any of the Gear of War games?
Yeah, I played the last one, I think it was, on the 360. And again, the one-player game, I really did enjoy it. It was quite good, but it kind of fell to the wayside. I know they had like a zombie version of Gears of War where you had to, I think it was Horde, was it called, or something like that.
Yeah,
That was really, really good. You had a group of you in there. That was really enjoyable. Yeah, but I quite Gears of War. I quite like those games. I'd rate them quite high.
yeah. Moving on. Have you got that next point?
Yeah, apparently
I'm not
Lift
sure.
London. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
Lift London is, but they'll be showing two projects. Apparently they're a small and digital-based company, but there's not a lot of details out for it. So it'd be interesting to
no.
see what those two projects are.
Yeah, it's always nice to have um, a game company on your home soil. I don't know if they've moved yet, but Rocksteady were English as well, I believe.
Not too sure. I think you might be right. It rings a bell. Definitely rings a bell.
Yeah. Now looking at their website quickly, Lift London, they're predominantly a tablet-based game, so it looks like potentially it says we are Lift London. We craft games for tablets, smartphones, and beyond. We aim to excite, thrill, amuse, and delight whoever you are, wherever you are. So presumably it could either be, I presume it's going to be an arcade game that I would think from that might have quite a bit of integration with the smart app. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah,
We'll have to see.
yeah.
It's always nice to have something new, something different bringing to the table.
Yeah. Who knows? It might be
Welcome
something
that.
that's going to be the next generation of stuff, and yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see what those two things are. Those two
Yeah,
projects.
definitely. The next one, Lionhead will brief gameplay of Fable Legends, and they're going to show their next teaser trailer. And they've got another project coming out set in post-cataclysmic cataclysmic Earth. Oh Jesus, whatever that is.
Definitely a mouthful.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's basically I think it's just after a huge war, and the Earth's been decimated by lots of egg-shaped objects, which is
yeah,
a bit vague.
yeah.
Um, so the Easter Bunny's gone mad.
So the way I'm reading this is they're going to show something. from Lionhead, we're going to see Fable Legends, which is it like a four-player online game, MMO type of thing, and then they're going to show this other project. Is that the way you read that as well? So we're going
Yeah,
to get
that's the
two
way.
things from Lionhead.
Yeah, that's the way I see it as well.
Yeah, which would be interesting because I really enjoyed Fable 1. That was fantastic on the original Xbox. Fable 2 built on that, and that was great. Fable 3 was a bit meh, and even Peter Monaghan didn't particularly enjoy it. 'Cause apparently, he had his hands tied by Microsoft, and he's now moved on to pastures new. And then we've got Fable Legends, which we'll have to see how that goes, and then a new project. Um,
Be
so that,
interesting to see how much that differs from Fable, and they don't just stick in the same sort of niche if they're doing anything new and different.
yeah, I know Lionhead Studios, but which was predominantly Peter Monaghan, is very much into his God games because he did. Was it Black and White back in the day on the
Yeah,
PC?
yeah, I remember that.
So it'd be interesting to see if it's following that or they're just going to go in a completely new, different direction. And we'll have to wait and see.
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently, Frontier Development is working on a family-friendly Connect title for
Hey, more
release in
Connect.
2014. So I'm hoping that's sports. I do like the sports games on the Connect.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
it's a niche thing again. Getting
yeah,
getting together when you got your family rather than everyday playing.
yeah. Phantom Dust Sacrifice is being worked on a Grounding Inc. Sorry, by Grounding Inc. Will be a prequel to the original. The game will be a episodic nature, so something similar to The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us. I've played The Walking Dead a little bit, but yeah, don't really know much about it or played the original. Have you?
No, I
No.
haven't. I have played very little of
Um, yeah, nothing else really to say on that one.
it. It's, and we've covered the Quantum Break stuff that'll be out in November 2014,
Yep.
and it's part of a trilogy. And it's had a big graphical upgrade. Sunset Overdrive is aiming for release on the last weeks of August or early September. Graphically, it looks like a CG trailer, and apparently got a parkour element in the game, which is apparently a mix of Sonic, Jet Set Radio, and Ratchet and Clank. So that is a very interesting mix of three things. So
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't know what that's going to be like.
the trailer that they did release was pretty phenomenal. Um, it looked mental, really. You have to kind of watch it to believe it. There's a guy going down a zip line shooting random monsters and doing loads of weird things and then getting surrounded by them, and it looks a bit crazy, but it looks like if it's done well, it could be one of those games a little bit like Trials Fusion. Obviously, it's a completely different type of game, but it's something you can just go and have fun on. So that could be quite interesting. There's a the Secrets Japanese game coming from Platinum Games, um, and it looks like it's going to be an action beat 'em up, codename Rug Puddle, whatever the hell that means. It sounds a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
We're not going to that, but
that's a bit like prison lingo.
yeah, yeah. What with the main character soap on a rope? This is part one of a multiple game deal with Microsoft to publish other titles in the future. So whether it's an exclusive or not, I don't know. I presume it is if it's with Microsoft, but yeah, something new. Should be good.
Yep, new things are always good.
Yeah,
I'm just going to skip down a couple. Go to Games with Gold. Will be announced for Xbox One starting immediately.
yeah,
The aim is that it will be one retail game a month, one digital game per month of a choice of two, and apparently it'll evolve as time goes on.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry.
so I think that relates to, is that the free games with the upgrade to Xbox Live? Is that what that was referring
Yeah.
to?
So I've heard that because if you have PlayStation Plus, you can download the games for free, but if your PlayStation Plus lapse, you no longer get the game. So I presume that's where the rental part of it comes from. Oh, sorry, retail
Yeah,
rental. So presumably the similar thing's going to happen. Now I heard that the first two games were going to be Halo, Spartan Assault, and Max Curse of Brotherhood, which are digital games. digital only. So it'll be interesting to see what the retail game is, which presumably they might announce at E3.
Yeah.
What would you like to see out of interest, out of all the games that are out there with the retail game? What do you think?
I really don't mind. As always, free stuff is always good. Free stuff is definitely a winner. But yeah, I'd just like to mix it up a little bit and just have something different, even if it might not be the best game in the world, but it's something different to what you usually play.
Yeah,
I'm all up for a bit of variety each month and just mixing things up.
I presume it's. I would have thought it might be something along the lines of Rise, maybe even Dead Rising 3, which I think you purchased recently.
Yeah, I bought that a while
Yeah,
back. I haven't played a great deal of it, but it's a fairly good game. And if I got that for free, I wouldn't be disappointed whatsoever. Not even with Rise either.
yeah,
If it was free, I'd obviously download it or buy it or get a hold of it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that develops.
yeah, definitely. And hopefully um, they'll try and compete with PlayStation a little bit because I know it was PlayStation that started it off, and then Xbox started giving us the free arcade games and things. And to be honest with you, they've not been fantastic. Some of the games have been really good, but they've been old. So I know we've had the original Gears of War, and I think the original Assassin's Creed and things like that, and Sleeping Dogs and whatnot. But they've not been the latest and greatest ones. Whereas I know PlayStation Plus have had some more up-to-date games, maybe 6 months old. So it'd be interesting to see how they try and compete with PlayStation with that.
Yeah, yeah, will be quite interesting to see how that works out.
Yes. So the next couple I'll probably go through. Microsoft apparently going to announce that retail units can be activated as development kits from October. Um, doesn't really mean much to me. I'd love to make my own game, but my creative juices flow a different way, and I can't get it on paper, and I think I'd just be crap at it.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah, I know that like the indie games and stuff do now on the Xbox 360.
yeah,
Would it be something I'd go down the road of doing? No, probably not. I'll just play
yeah,
the end result as opposed to building something.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, again, I'll see how that affects between development kits and Xboxes that aren't development kits and see what issues that brings up.
yeah.
Hopefully it'll be none, but hopefully it'll be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to kind of create my own game, but I'd need a team of people. So if anybody out there that wants to work with me and Stella, we're happy to give you help and test them and different things. But yeah, I'm not. There's some people out there like AXT Tempest. The things he can do on Forza with the graphics and different things, it's just mental. I'm crap
Yeah,
at it. It looks
yeah,
like someone's thrown up on my car or something.
yeah, I'm diabolical when it comes to paint, but yeah, it is quite impressive when you see people like Tempest do paints and stuff, and it just looks awesome.
Yeah,
It is quite impressive.
it's that Spartan helmet he did for, is it AFX Spartan or something like that?
Yeah.
For the R8 was just, yeah, crazy. Take me hours to do that and some. And then we've got Crackdown Skyline, which is coming out in 2015. There's not much else to report from that, but another Crackdown game which is a little bit crazy.
I like
Oh,
them. I like the Crackdown games.
yeah, is that the one where you've got the guy with the whip? Is that Crackdown or is that no? That's Just Cause.
Yeah, it's just
Just
cause. Yeah,
Cause. Yeah,
Crackdown was a bit like Grand Theft Auto, but with like superpowers. I think it was.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I did like them games. I like the graphics on them because they were kind of like not the best graphics, but like manga style cartoony graphics.
Mm,
But it worked really, really well. I thought.
yeah, definitely. Um, And then following on from there, we've just got a few games which are potentially going to be announced. So I'll let you go with the first one.
Apparently, the first one is going to be called The Division. I know absolutely jack shit about this. So if you've got any
Oh,
info, let me know.
yeah. I've been keeping my eye on it quite a bit. So basically, I think it's going to be an online only game, slightly MMO style, and it's in a world where the shit's hit the fan and there's been a massive nuke or something like that has gone off, and you've got to survive. And it is literally like that. I think it's one of those games a little bit like if you put Fallout onto extreme mode and you have to drink water to survive and sleep. Um, it's similar to that, and they've got, I can't remember the name of the engine, but there was a video up on YouTube of how the engine's creating the snow and the lighting effects and stuff like that. So it looks really good. And it's interesting to see that the Xbox One is now the lead platform, which I thought it was a PlayStation, but Xbox. Very interesting. It's going to be a third-person game, and perhaps have a look on YouTube afterwards. I advise the people listening to this to look on it as well because it does look like a really good game.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I get the next point. Yay, Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. Woo! Kevin
You can say
Spacey,
how
what the fuck
awesome
have you
it'll be
done?
now. You get to say how awesome it'll be, and it'll be the best game in the world ever, and everybody should sell everything and just play Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah. God, I hope Kevin Spacey hasn't just ruined his career. That's all I'm worried about. That's probably the best bit of the game. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of build up to the announcement trailers and stuff, and it says it's going to be amazing, the next Call of Duty game, and I looked at it and went, eh,
Yeah,
no, like I said earlier, it's nothing new. They're just taking bits from other people's games and adding it into theirs and going, look what we've created. Yeah,
yeah,
also, I remember watching a YouTube video, and it says, look, we can, on one of the previous Call of Duties, we can swim underwater and the fishies move,
yeah.
um,
That was it. That
depending
was
how
this
close you
one.
get to it.
Ghost.
And then it shows a picture of like Mario from like 1990 something, and it's doing exactly that. And it's like, yeah, you're just repackaging something else.
Yeah. Oh, look, a
Just
dog's got a tongue. Woo.
yeah, try and be a bit creative and think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's got the advanced features, and you've got those suits, and
Yeah, I don't like that sort of thing. I don't like the futuristic side of stuff. I'd much rather use stuff that we actually use nowadays.
yeah,
Let's get back to the armor thing again. They only use the group that I played with only used like stuff that's cut in common uses on the British forces. But yeah, the futuristic side of it, don't try and be Titanfall. Titanfall is already out. Don't try and steal people from Titanfall because by
yeah.
the time that comes out, people would have left Titanfall anyway.
The only thing that's potentially got going for this Call of Duty is the fact that it's done by Sledgehammer Games,
Yeah.
which helped with Modern Warfare 3. So it could be good. I don't want to hold too much stock against that, but who knows? They might bring something fresh to the plate. Um, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, I found with Call of Duty games, the more they go on, or the more different games that come out of Call of Duty, they've just got gradually worse and worse every
Yeah,
single time. So I hope they prove me wrong. I hope it's going to be an awesome game, and they convince me to buy it. But at the moment, my money will be staying in my pocket.
yeah. I loved Medal of Honor. Did you play the latest Medal of Honor game?
Uh,
That
Again, I
was
like the
quite good.
older ones. Yeah, the new ones were okay. But see, the difference between Battlefield and Call of Duty, I like the movement parts of Call of Duty, the way you move around the map and everything. I quite like that.
Yeah,
But then I like the size of the maps on Battlefield, and I think if they did a Call of Duty with the size of Battlefield maps, I think it would be awesome. But then again, it's two games that be exactly the same, so
yeah.
maybe that's why they do it. It's something a little bit different.
Do you feel that because of the how the gaming industry is and the beady eye that we've got on it, because if someone plays Call of Duty and they go and shoot someone, obviously it's the game's fault and not the way that child's been brought up or mentally stable. But do you think that some of the gaming industries are pussies and won't go there? Because I know Medal of Honor had massive press hate because it was set in Afghanistan and things like
Yeah.
that. Now, I know it's traumatic for the people that have been there, but it's what's recent and what's in the news. Obviously, we've been to Vietnam more times than the real people, and we're always in Vietnam these days, or World War One or World War Two. So why can't we keep it new, like more recent, or is it just too fresh in people's minds?
I think part of it is because it's current and it's in people's minds, like you say, and maybe part of it's because it's controversial. They know it's going to raise controversy and they build the profile of it up a little bit
Yeah,
and get people talking about it. So yeah, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. Me personally, I have no problem distinguishing difference between a computer game and real life. I wouldn't
yeah.
play Grand Theft Auto and go out and pinch somebody's car and have a massive cop chase and shoot people in the face and then run off. And
And then
I can
teabag
totally,
him.
yeah, and teabag them. I can totally tell the difference between the two. But yeah, I suppose that other people in the world maybe struggle to make that definition at times. I'm being slightly controversial here, and so I might just stop talking now.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. It's quite a controversial subject, but anytime it's on the news, it winds me up, and I'm always tempted to ring in and give him my 2 pence worth, but I'll probably get so much hate mail, it's unbelievable. But yeah, it's more of a frustration factor that you can't play a game or do anything and then do something else and they go, oh, it must be this. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
it's definitely
no,
the game's fault.
yeah,
It's like there was a kid in America not long ago who shot his grandma in the head because he'd been playing Grand Theft Auto, and it was the game's fault. Not the fact that they had a loaded pistol in the house, which was accessible to the child.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Um,
You didn't ship with the game. You didn't go, oh, here's Grand Theft Auto and a gun so you can go on a killing spree.
yeah, free gun with every copy.
Yeah, yeah, but never mind. Anyway, we've digressed again a little bit. Moving on. Uh,
Yeah, Fallout 4.
yeah,
Have you played
interesting.
much Fallout? I played a
Yeah,
few of the older ones. I did quite like them. I like that style of game. The old. I've just recently bought Stalker, which is like a game that's 7 years old, I think it is,
is that
on the PC.
the um the one in Chernobyl?
Yeah, I've just
Yeah,
recently, yeah, I just bought that,
what a
and
game.
I fucking love it. It's awesome
Yeah,
running around, and I like that sort of game. I absolutely love Daisy. Apart from the bits, well, it started off when I first played it, it was awesome, and then it got just to PvP, just shoot people on sight type of thing. And I like the survival aspect to it, as opposed to just hiding in the bush and shooting people in the face from miles away, just because it's fun.
yeah.
Um,
I played Rust, which was
yeah,
very similar. And like you, I do prefer the survival games. It makes you want to think rather than right. I've got to run and shoot everyone and kill everyone. You've got to kind of plan ahead. Right, I need water and I need food and I need to
yeah,
cook it. And
I'd much rather play a game like that with like 3 or 4 people, your friends, even if it was just against the AI and you, the only ones there, just trying to do that survival aspect of it, as opposed to just doing it against people you don't know who will just kill you on sight just because they're not sure if you're going to shoot them.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm more towards the survival aspect of things.
yeah. So Fallout 3, absolutely loved it. Got all the expansions. It's the only game I think on my Xbox that I managed to get over 1,000 gamer points on. Absolutely love that game to death. For some reason, New Vegas I couldn't get into.
I never played New Vegas. I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I've got it, and I think I've still got it now from a 360. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. Whether it's because I'd played Fallout 3 that much that I just didn't want to play it anymore. I don't know. But Fallout 4 should be really good because I remember when it came, Fallout 3 came out, and the graphics and things were phenomenal. So it'd be interesting to see where they take that.
Yeah, could be a good game. Or say I'm going to go on a limb here and say it will be a good game. It will be an awesome game.
Yeah, yeah. Now I know they've done because it's the same studio that now do the Elder Scrolls games. And a lot of people have hated on Elder Scrolls Online, but it's still really good. So I'm expecting good things from Fallout 4. It should be good. I reckon it will
Yeah,
be.
you find a lot of games like that that go online. People just want to kill each other, and that's it. And the whole basis of the game goes out the window,
Yeah,
and it just turns into a big PvP kill fest.
yeah. Unfortunately. And then just the last couple of ones are EA are going to announce various games. Nah, they might show something about the new UFC game, which I'm actually looking forward to. It's got one of my heroes in Bruce Lee, so that's twisted my arm a
Yeah,
little bit for that. But that,
I'm a big UFC fan.
yeah,
I do enjoy watching that. Yeah.
yeah. Who's your favourite UFC fighter?
Um, who've got? I'm trying to think. I like the older ones like Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was a good one. And some of the new ones that I like. What's his name now? I'm trying to think. The light heavyweight champion, the coloured guy. Um,
What? Not Anderson Silva, is it?
it's
John Bone Jones. Is he still light heavyweight?
yeah,
Or is
that John Bon Jones, John Jones, I think it is.
John Bon Jovi?
It's John Bon Jovi. John Bon. That's if you can create a character in UFC, that's who I'm going to make. I'm going to make John Bon Jovi.
There you go. You've heard it first. Um,
Yeah, John Jones. I think he's pretty awesome. He is.
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. And George St Pierre and that who, I think, did he get injured and then
no, he gave up. He
relinquish the
relinquished the
title?
belt. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've got a new champion now, and like I say, Anderson Silva and stuff like that. People who have just dominate classes for so long. It is pretty awesome.
There you go. You've learned something new. I love UFC as well. A little bit behind. I used to have Virgin that came had uh, ESPN for free. And then I've lost touch with it a little bit, but I do try and keep up with it. Um, And I was a little bit disappointed with Alistair Overeem. I didn't think he's as good as he was. I think he's had an amazing fight since, because I know he took out Brock Lesnar, didn't he?
Yeah, I've seen him
Uh,
in a few of them. I think he fought, the one I saw was Anderson Silva,
yeah,
Anderson Bigfoot Silva, and he absolutely destroyed him. And there was so much build up before that fight,
yeah.
and he just went in, just proved a point, and actually just nailed him to the floor.
One,
Um,
go
okay,
I was going to say my most favourite fighters, just because it's so random, is Roy Country Nelson. He's just like some
yeah,
fat, overweight kind of guy that knows
he
kung
looked like
fu.
somebody that pulled off the street, didn't he?
Yeah, with his little mullet, and he loves it, and he does his like belly wobble and that, and then he just gets in and sparks people out. It's just like, where's that come from?
Yeah, you just don't expect it all out of him, do you? And
Yeah,
I saw a fight with him, he gets kneed in the face at point blank range, and he just stands there and takes, and it's like,
yeah,
if you need somebody in the face that hard and they didn't move, you just think, oh shit, I'm
yeah,
in trouble now.
definitely, yeah. But he just kind of brushes it off and yeah, goes for it. Bit disappointed with we're going off subject completely, but Rampage Jackson recently. I've not seen any of his recent stuff, but he seemed to have lost his way a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
I
as
haven't seen him in the
aggressive.
UFC for quite a while. I
Yeah.
was watching, I can't remember what it's called, Impact Wrestling, I think it was a while back,
Oh,
and he was,
TNA.
yeah, and he was in that. And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing, me life?
Yeah.
Um, if you hear that, Rampage, I didn't mean it. Uh,
Yeah.
come hunting me down. But yeah, I haven't seen him about the UFC for quite a while.
Yeah. Some of the
Um,
slams he used to do and how aggressive he used to be, but then he just kind of lost it a bit. And like you say, he just disappeared.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, maybe they've taken some time out. I know he's got his own UFC school now, but anyway, yeah. So sorry, we've completely gone off subject and turned it into a UFC podcast. But yeah, so that game looks really good. I think it's out on something like June the 10th. I think it's out
Yeah,
very soon.
yeah, it's not too long ago. It's advertised all over there. I watched UFC, whatever number it was last night, and it's advertised all over that. So I bought the previous couple, so I'll probably end up buying that one as well.
Yeah, the trailer that they've done, it looks phenomenal. So there we go. We'll throw down the challenge now. Me against Stella Stig.
Yeah, well, I'll
UFC
be a
481.
UFC champion of the world.
But yeah, so that looks really good. And obviously, I presume EA are going to announce FIFA, who gives a fuck, and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe another Need for Speed, if we need another one.
yeah. It's another game that just becomes the same, and it's nothing particularly different.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm not with you on FIFA as well. I used to be a good football fan, but it's if I got one, it'd be more because I had my mates around and we were playing it or something, as opposed to getting it to do a whole season. I just ain't got the time for it. But yeah,
yeah. It's yeah. We'll have to see what happens. Um, I like you. I used to play it quite a bit and Pro Evo, more so with my mates. I had a mate who used to run his mouth with it when I first got it on my 360, I think it was. I think it was the last football game I ever brought, and we were doing shots whenever. Don't try this at home if your kids don't do it with vodka, but we were doing it with vodka, and every time you got sent off or conceded a goal, you had to have a shot of vodka. And he was running his mouth for ages, and me and my mate, who aren't massive football fans at all, slaughtered him. And by the last game, he was just fouling everyone because he was just off his tits. I think
it's
he lost 8-0.
definitely an interesting way to play the football games. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, keeps it fresh. I wouldn't like to do that with Forza though. Every time you get lapped or something on your endurance runs, because I'd be smashed. But
Yeah,
there we go.
would be interesting.
Yeah, and the last thing is just that we've potentially got quite a bit of exclusive and timed DLC to come out. So there might be some big DLC announced for some games, which I think we're going to see more games than we are DLC. And apparently they've got a lot up their sleeves, so whether they've got some exclusive games to come, who knows?
Yeah, another bold statement.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's about it. I think we've waffled on for just over an hour, which is about right.
It's overall 2 hours in total.
Yeah, and obviously we were prepping ourselves beforehand and psyching ourselves up with a few shots of vodka. I don't know. But yeah, so hopefully we can do another one around E3, maybe sometime before. maybe even try and do something live on Twitch while it's going on. Who knows? But appreciate any comments anybody wants to leave, and let us know what you think to this first time podcast, and we'll try and do some more. We'll put some links below so you can watch the audio version on your